from the All-Americans. Now the young lady that's so far posted the only perfect 10 tonight in the competition, Dominique Dawes, again from Hills Angels. Hills Angels.
Remember, this event is where she just placed second in the world 2 months ago.
An unbelievably high reverse hecht, uprise to the handstand. Watch this, giant 1.5 twist, immediate bail to handstand on the low bar. That's an extremely difficult sequence of skills. Setting up for a dismount now, full twisting giant, giant, into a full twisting double back.
Wow.
Beautiful routine, full of difficulty, just a step on the landing, but I think a routine that she can be very proud of.
Absolutely.
Christy, as a former coach, very few, if any, flaws in her performance.
Really, it was a tough routine. She had a lot of difficulty in it. It was well done. Just the step on the dismount.
And watch this reverse hecht. This is one of the highest. Look at the height right there. One of the highest you'll probably see in the whole competition and the world.
See, we can call her Air Dawes after watching that bar routine.
Okay.
And there'll be a whole line of leotards coming out.
Mm-hmm. And a 9.9, the only deduction that the judges saw was that step on the landing.
Right. If she wouldn't have stepped, there would have been another 10, I think.
Now to Carrie Monahan from the Atlantic Coast team on the balance beam.
Okay, here's Carrie's series. A back handspring, layout, step out, step out. She had a minor break there, but she kept moving. You know, Carrie's a veteran for this team, and I think the coach's confidence in her shows by the lineup. She's last up on every event for her team.
Kenny Anderson's the coach of the Atlantic Coast team, and Carrie's 17 years of age.
Oh, boy, that's a good save, huh? She almost missed her hand on that flip-flop, but she held rock solid on the
how much will they deduct for that, if anything?
They might deduct a 10th, I would think, because there was just a little wobble. But she could have fallen off, and she saved it. So she saved herself 4 tenths.
She just performed the full turn, one of the requirements.
She did that one nice.
And now she's setting up for her dismount. A round off, double back somersault, very high, nicely performed. A step on the landing, that'll be 1/10 off her total, but I think a routine that she can be really happy with.
It appears she is, as well as her teammates. Let's look again, watch her save this.
Now this is where you're going to see the experience of a seasoned gymnast. Any other gymnast would have dropped off when this hand, watch this one hand, just slips off a little early.
That's 12 years experience.
Is that how long she's been doing gymnastics? And she's also just placed second in the senior division for the United States in the all-around competition.
1988 Junior B national team member and the 1993 Maryland Classic 5th AA.
And her score, a 9.625. That's an excellent score for the balance beam.
That is, absolutely.
And coming off the bars, I think that we can expect to see Carrie high in the all-around if she keeps this level up.
Now let's move to the floor exercises. Representing K-Ron is Liz Reed. She's 15 years of age. And really, she likes all events that she participates in. And interesting beginning, huh?
How she's going to untangle herself from
a little yoga approach.
Well, you watch this gymnast. She actually looks like a rubber band. She's extremely flexible, really beautiful to watch. And she has some unusual tumbling and dance elements.
She does, if I remember correctly, a lot of front tumbling.
Yeah, and the judges like to see that. You know, they want to see something that's a little bit different. Here's her first pass. Front handspring, front flip-flop.
Oh.
Layout, front full punch, front. Very unusual and very difficult.
Everybody else is tumbling backwards. She says, I'm going to tumble forwards. And it shows uniqueness.
Look at the smoothness and the grace with which she performs.
The toes are really pointed to the extreme.
Watch this second tumbling pass. Here she'll show, hey, I can tumble backwards too. Round off back handspring, 2.5 twist.
Wow.
Very well done. That's a D element. D is the highest level of difficulty in gymnastics. And I love her choreography. Her dance is so expressive, so well done.
And with the music, the dance almost fits the mood of the music.
Setting up for her last pass. front handspring, front flip-flop, lay out front with a 1.5 twist. That was a beautiful routine. I think we can look for a big score here.
Coach Mylan Stanovich has got to be pleased. And the fans here in Haines City, Florida, enjoying what they see. The person of Liz Reed.
And there are coaches. That's Mylan to the right. And he's really done a terrific job with these girls. He was a former gymnast himself.
As you were, and as you were.
In a past life.
But don't you sit here as we look back again at Liz Reed's performance, the floor exercises.
That's her first pass, front with a full twist into immediate punch front. And the height on both front somersaults was terrific.
9.75.
9.75. That's an excellent score, and I think one that will really help boost her team in the standings.
Right, because they're in 7th after the first event, so that'll be a strong showing in floor.
And thank God for that replay before he talked about our past lives, Jeff.
We're at the National Team Gymnastic Championships. We may have some videotape of you as a performer, Christy Kraft. We know we got some.
Right.
We're going to slip that in before this thing is over. Greenleaf Resort will return in a moment. Welcome back, everybody. Johnny Holliday along with Christy Kraft and Jeff Neffer. We're in Haines City, Florida for the National Team Championships Gymnastic Competition. The executive director of the USAIGC is Ed Neffer, a gentleman who has got to be so proud of the tremendous leaps and bounds that he has seen in gymnastics since he first began this competition some years ago. And we had a chance to speak with Ed just moments ago about the progress made. Ed, the USAIGC has come a long way since way back some 17 years ago for your organization.
That's right. 17 years ago, we started with 72 children in the competition. This year, 17 years later, we now have 900 in the competition. Gymnastics has grown like that, too. In 1972, we had like 36,000 gymnasts. Olga Corbett hit, and it blew up no time at all to 1.5 million in recreational classes and about 300,000 in competitive gymnastics. So it has really grown.
And don't you find that most every young girl says, I want to be like a Shannon Miller, a Dominique Dawes is in this competition?
Most everyone, especially when we get the interviews back from the children, they always want, they want to be like Dominique Dawes, and they want to be like Shannon Miller, and a lot of them like to be like Mary Lou Retton, who is still around, Nadia Comaneci. It's unbelievable the power that Nadia Comaneci's name has and Mary Lou Retton's name. A lot of children know her.
The young ladies, the athletes that we are seeing in action tonight, they're all wonderfully talented, but there's more than just that to make up a gymnast.
Oh, yeah, definitely. It takes a lot more than talent. It takes the dedication of the family behind the child. It takes the dedication of the child. It also takes a tremendous attitude. And they have to put together so many different slots of time, and everything is critical. They have to have the proper time to eat, and the proper way to eat, I should say, and they have to have the proper time to study, and then they have to have 4 or 5, 6, 7 hours a day to work out. Boy, that's putting a lot together, let me tell you.
Ed, is there an age, a perfect age that one, if a parent watching this show tonight would say, I want my child to be a gymnast? There's really no too early age to start one, is there?
No, most of us start our children in recreational classes at 18 months, and they're usually parent and taught classes. And then at the age of 3, they break off into classes by themselves. But our Junior Elite Development Program actually has children on the national team who are 6 years old. We select children, the 1% of the children, I should say, who are gymnasts in the United States are selected to that JDP program. But they're super, super children. They start at 6, and you'll see them at 16 probably in the Olympics or international teams.
Now, we've been in Haines City, Florida here all week long, and next year you go back to North Carolina.
Yeah, we're back in Greensboro. Greensboro built a brand new arena for us, and we'll be back there next June 5 through the 11th of 94. And I think that's going to be a tremendous time for the children to return back to where they have been before in a new arena. The community supports us. They're looking forward to it. I think it's going to be an excellent, excellent experience.
And you should be extremely proud of the organization, what they've done, and where they're going in the future.
Well, thank you very much. In the future, I know gymnastics is going to climb well beyond where it is today. I was totally amazed coming in here this year at the progress that these children have made in just 1 year from Las Vegas last year. We were looking at All-American Awards last year of, say, the top 8 children. This year, when I was reading off the All-American awards in each of the rounds, we had 16 to 18 All-Americans. That means they scored better than a 36 in the all-around out of a possible 40. Our high scores were in the 38s. And this, I think, is just a tremendous boom as far as scores are concerned. It doesn't have anything to do with judging. It does have a little bit to do perhaps with the technical quality of the equipment, but it's also the training systems that the children are involved in.
Ed Knepper, the executive director of the USAIGC, and no one's prouder of his son than your dad. You started, Jeff, at age 4, and your dad was teaching you?
Right. He was a phys ed teacher at a junior high school, and he started a gymnastics program there, and that's how I got involved. I'd go with him into the gym and started flipping around and jumping around when I was 4 and fell in love with it, and did it till I was 23. I went to college and performed.
Well, Arizona State, certainly known as a baseball factory, producing Sal Bando and Reggie Jackson, but also Jeff Knepper, the captain of the 1983 Sun Devil Gymnastics team.
Thanks, John.
When I got a second, we want to congratulate you and your dad and his wife, Pat, your mom, Pat Knepper. They'll have their 40th anniversary coming up in a few weeks.
That's absolutely right.
And our congratulations.
Almost forgot.
You better not forget. The gifts
No, I
in the
never
mail.
would. I never would.
And if you're in the Wilmington area, of course, Pat Knepper runs the Olympic Club. Let's go to the vault again, and here is Katie McFarland.
All right.
What a vault, a handspring front somersault. Now, we saw Katie's teammate earlier, Alexis Bryan, and she's so little and so adorable. We just fell in love with her, and be prepared to be wowed by this child. Katie McFarland can barely see over the vaulting horse, but man, can she jump. Look at that front handspring, front somersault, and a good stuck landing.
And her coach was happy about it, too.
Katie's only 10 years of age. She's only been in gymnastics 3 years. Dino Baker and Jim Walker, the coaches, that they can be this advanced, Jeff.
They're doing an incredible job down there. I believe they're following a junior league training program, but obviously it's doing the trick. Here she goes again.
It's a credit to Katie and to her coaches. Here's her second vault. Handspring front. Oh, too bad.
Yeah, you know, she's not very happy. You can see that.
No, but look at that face.
Oh, boy, it just hurts her inside. She really wanted to do a great job, and it just wasn't there. But she did a great first vault. I think she's going to get a nice score.
Yeah, and she will have a nice score. You look at her. Here's her second vault. She hits the board, handspring, and you can see she just didn't have enough push to get around and on top.
She looks like she almost came kind of crunched into the horse. Her arms were a little bent, so she couldn't react quickly.
But Christy, as good coaches do, they quickly go up to the athlete and hug them and give them a nice word of encouragement, because it's not over. They have more events coming up.
And not only more events, but you can look at a gymnast like Katie McFarland and see that she has a very bright future in gymnastics.
And she got a 9.65 on that first vault.
This is not her last meet. Yeah, that's a nice consolation as well.
Right.
Defending national champion, American Twisters, Giselle Bonaforte, 13 years of age, in Boca Raton, Florida.
And that was a beautiful opening sequence with a back stalder blind into a front stalder pirouette. Here's her giant to a counter swing handstand, another stalder, and that's a skill that we used to see a lot of and not too many gymnasts do anymore. It's a beautiful skill and a double twisting.
Beautiful routine.
You know, she has an excellent line, nice long lean body on the bars. She's a wonderful gymnast.
Tim and Tony Rand are the coaches of the American Twisters, defending national champions from Pompano Beach, Florida.
And I was watching them earlier. They had some terrific bar sets.
Look at Katie's ending now to finish.
Okay, here Giselle does her long kip, cast a handstand, giant swing, into a double twisting flyaway with a beautiful landing, and that is a really difficult skill to stick.
I apologize. I said Katie. I meant to say Giselle. Thanks.
Oh, Katie's still in your mind after that vault.
Sure
I'm
is.
so sorry for her.
That's Giselle
Bonaforte.
Likes learning new tricks when she's competing.
And here comes her score.
A 9.85.
Wow.
That is a terrific score. You know, I think you may be right, Jeff. The Twisters are definitely going to give Hills Angels a run for their money in this competition.
Absolutely, because after that first event, they're only 1/10 and 25 hundredths ahead.
Lauren LeBranch standing by.